Good morning, I'm Councillor Glen and this is my weekly update for Saturday, November 1st. I'm along the Trans-Canada Trail. It's a beautiful spot here. I'm fortunate to get to walk along this section just about every day, whether I'm walking to work or to the bus stop or taking the dog out for a walk. And this year we've had a spectacular performance by the trees and the beautiful changing colors and so on. Kind of getting to the end of that, so this may be one of your last weekends to go out and really enjoy that. But it's been absolutely beautiful this year. And please do take an opportunity this weekend to walk along the Trans-Canada Trail or one of the natural areas near your community as well. I'm wearing my poppy this morning because yesterday was the kickoff of the annual poppy campaign with the Stittsville Legion and the Canadian Legion. I participated yesterday in a first poppy ceremony with the Legion and MPP George DeRuse and MP Bruce Vanjoy, and you're going to see volunteers from the Legion out over the next couple weeks at different retail locations in Stittsville, so you can pick up your poppy from them and say thank you. And leading up to Remembrance Day, of course, on November 11th. Lots of updates. Let's start with what's happening today. November 1st, there is a city hazardous waste depot. That is over at the Westbrook snow dump off of Carp Road, almost at the Queensway. It's a snow dump during the winter, but they've set up a drive-through drop-off where you can bring your old paint cans and any hazardous materials that you may have in your garage. That's going on all day today. And then in the evening, November 1st, tonight, Pumpkin Parade. The annual Pumpkin Parade at Village Square Park. If you've never been here before, it's a really great event. You can bring your used pumpkin from last night and line it up with all the other pumpkins, and there's some prizes available. There's some hot chocolate and goodies for kids as well. A great annual event. I believe it starts at 6:30 at Village Square Park, which is at Abbott and Stittsville Main Street. On my website, there's lots of information this week, including an alert from Ottawa Public Health about some measles exposures in the west end of Ottawa, not as far west as Canada and Stittsville, but in some retail locations that possibly people may have visited in the last couple of weeks, so do check that out. And there's more information as well at ottawapublichealth.ca. We have some upcoming events that you can register for. November 10th is our resiliency panel. The topic is, are we ready? Are we ready for climate change? Are we ready for population growth? How are our municipal services and partner services preparing? Things like Hydro Ottawa, Mississippi Valley Conservation Authority. We have Enviro Center there. We're going to have representatives from the city's climate change group and from city's emergency preparedness group as well. There are still some spots available, so you can register for that on my website. I think it's going to be a really good discussion, November 10th. Then on November 13th, we've got our update meeting on Carp Road construction. That'll be starting up very soon. You don't have to register for that one, but that's on Thursday, November 13th. November 19th is our anti-fraud workshop with the Ontario Provincial Police. You can learn how to identify and avoid scams online and offline. You can register for that on my website. We've got some information about upcoming construction projects in our ward, a couple that are kind of minor. One is Rouncey Road pedestrian safety and accessibility upgrades at Tapadero and at Westphalian. Another one is some maintenance work happening at the Granite Ridge stormwater pond over almost at the end of Iber Road. There's some work happening now in advance of a major cyclical. It's not annual. It happens every 7 to 10 years. They have to do some major upgrades and maintenance on the stormwater pond. That'll be happening next year, but there's some prep work happening now. Over on Terry Fox near Westphalian, you're going to see some work happening to construct new pathways, so that we have a continuous pathway from Abbott all the way to the Walmart, so that's good. And on my website, there is a budget survey. So please go and take that city budget survey. It's for Stittsville residents only. We've had over 400 responses so far, which is pretty incredible. And just share your thoughts. It's 5 questions, really quick to do. Just trying to take the temperature of Stittsville residents and see what some of your priorities are as we head into budget season in the next couple weeks at City Hall. Speaking of City Hall, we spent a very long time over 2 days in a committee meeting about Lansdowne Park. You may have heard. So I wanted to share a bit of an update. Thought it might be helpful to go back and figure out where we are right now. So 3 years ago, 2022, May 2022, City Council had to make a decision on where we were going with Lansdowne Park, because the arena and the north side stands are in very bad shape. The arena is actually underneath the north side stands, which is a pretty unique configuration. They actually can't do a stadium event and an arena event at the same time due to load capacity issues. But there's all sorts of problems with the older facilities. They're 60 years old. They do not meet current accessibility codes. They do not meet current energy efficiency codes, so they cost a ton of money to heat and to cool. They do not have modern requirements for dressing rooms or for concerts. There's some concerts in there, but the loading dock isn't up to modern standards, and the rigging points where they hang the lights and the speakers are not up to modern standards. And the facility is losing out on major events, concerts and sports and other big activities. And so council had to make a decision in 2022 as to what to do. Could we refurbish it and renovate? Could we do nothing? Or would we redevelop, rebuild a new stadium and arena? And in 2022, council decided on a rebuild, and they sent city staff away to say, come up with a plan for how this would work, how it could be funded, what is needed, and so on. So that came back to council in 2023, fall of 2023, and city staff gave a green light for an overall concept plan and the finances around it, and said to staff, go out and get some solid numbers, go out and do some bids, get some real numbers, and come back to us and present that to us. So that's what was in front of us this week, is the final plan for Lansdowne. And what is it? Well, it's to rebuild the stadium and the north side stands. As part of that, they have to rebuild the retail that's incorporated into there. And that would be done over the next 5 years or so. And they would also build two new apartment towers, would have apartments and condos and a hotel. That's partly to offset the cost. We went out and we got bids for development rights there above the stadium. So there's certainly a cost to Lansdowne Park, over $400 million, but that is offset by some revenue. So offset from revenue from those development rights that we sold, offset by a municipal accommodation tax, offset by rental revenue that comes in, and offset from profits from the events, the sports and entertainment events that are at Lansdowne Park. There's still a major cost. The city would still be taking on debt to cover this. But after all of the offsets are put in, the annual cost is estimated to be just under $5 million, $4.7 million. It could be less if things go very, very well. It could be a little bit more if things don't go as well. So this week was a lot about assessing the risk for the project, and also the opportunity, the role that Lansdowne Park plays in terms of the tourism economy, in terms of construction jobs created. So lots of factors in there. I did support it at committee. Now this Tuesday we're getting a separate report from the Auditor General, who's also doing an assessment of the risk. So I anticipate there may be some changes that we need to make before council makes a final decision next Friday. I have shared on my website part one of a two-part post that I'm working on. Part one is how we got here, which I gave a quick explanation of there. Morning. Part two that I'm working on is how I'm weighing the risk and the opportunity on this file. So I will post that in the next few days, and welcome any questions or comments that you have about this. The other big news at City Hall, what's actually at Queen's Park at the provincial level, is the province passed legislation to ban speed cameras. I'm really unhappy with this. I think it's a major step backwards in Ontario for safety in our communities. City of Ottawa and other cities are discussing some ways that we can push back what legal options we may have, so watch for more on that soon. But I guess I have to remind folks, in the next couple weeks when those cameras are deactivated, I really need you to slow down in speed zones, take care in speed zones, and overall, even if there's no camera there, slow down, pay attention, obey the no parking and no stopping signs in school zones. They are not there to inconvenience you, to be a pain. They're there for the safety of students. And sadly, we are still seeing a lot of drivers who are not paying attention to those no stopping, no parking, who are not following the direction of crossing guards, who are driving too fast through these zones. So please take care out there. We do not want to see any kids, any adults, anyone injured on our roads. So thank you for paying attention to that. Also on road safety, you probably noticed they're removing the flex stakes, those posts from the center line of roads. Those need to come out for the winter because they interfere with snowplows. So they take them out over the winter months and then reinstall them in the spring. A few reminders to wrap this up. A couple requests for volunteers. First of all, the Stittsville Village Association is organizing the annual Parade of Lights. This is the Christmas parade on Stittsville Main Street. They are looking for volunteers. They need a lot of volunteers, so this is a great opportunity to get a front row seat to the parade. And we rely on volunteers to maintain the city's outdoor rinks. And there's 3 rinks in particular where we have a very specific need: Coyote Run Park, Ralph Street Park, and Trustee M. Curry Park. But we need volunteers at all of the outdoor rinks, over a dozen outdoor rinks in the community. So if you can help out, please send my office an email and we will connect you with the other volunteers and city park staff and get that going. And my last reminder is the Lion on the Beach travel lottery draw by the Stittsville Lions. The first draw happens on Monday. There are a few tickets left to get into that draw, and there are multiple draws over the next few months to win vacations to different locations across North America and the world. So please do check that out. Thank you for watching this week. I hope you have a great weekend. And yeah, go out and explore the Trans-Canada Trail or a natural area near you. And I'll see you here next time. Take care.